I thought things were bad in Philadelphia when Joel Embiid said he wasn't going to play nearly 20% of the games in the preseason.
82 games, man. This is what the fucking job calls for.
Then we all knew things were in dire straits when Joel Embiid got suspended for 3 games for pushing a Philadelphia reporter.
Joel Embiid has been suspended for 3 games by the NBA for shoving a media member in the post-game locker room on Saturday night in Philadelphia.
But what just leaked from inside the Sixers organization is sending shockwaves in the NBA. And it's a clear sign that this franchise might be at a breaking point.
Players, included coaches, it was an hour and a half of everyone, all sides airing out.
Oh, we out of meeting?
So what's happening in Philadelphia? Who's to blame for the Sixers' awful start? And what does it mean for their future? Could the Sixers be staring down their worst nightmare? Or is there still hope that they can turn this thing around and make a real playoff push? After a shocking 2-11 start in Philadelphia, Kyle Lowry initiated a meeting with both the players and coaches to address the Sixers' struggles. This wasn't just a normal meeting. It was a moment of brutal honesty. Apparently, the players and coaches talked about what they wanted from each other. The players said that they wanted to be coached harder and to be held accountable. The coaches responded by calling out the team's lack of focus and intensity during practices. But the real fireworks came from Tyrese Maxey. Maxey, who's a close friend with Joel Embiid, reportedly stood up and told him, quote, "You're late to everything." He demanded more accountability from the former MVP, calling out his leadership in front of the team. And while Embiid apparently took the criticism well, he also pushed back, saying that he's sometimes confused by what the Sixers are trying to do offensively. That right there encapsulates the Sixers' issues to a T. There's problems with the leadership, their effort, their focus, and the fact that none of it feels aligned. And the problem is this meeting only scratches the surface of what's been happening in Philly for decades. The Sixers' current chaos isn't an isolated incident. It's the latest in a long line of missteps, missed opportunities, and internal drama. Remember the Ben Simmons saga? Simmons was supposed to be the perfect complement to Joel Embiid, a dynamic passer, elite defender, and someone who can control the pace of the game. But Ben's refusal to shoot, especially in the 2021 playoffs, became a breaking point. No one can forget Game 7 against the Hawks, where he passed up a wide-open dunk late in the fourth quarter.
The game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there. You got it.
And I certainly won't until his career is over. The Sixers lost, and Simmons became the team's scapegoat.
Can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now.
Instead of taking accountability for some of his mishaps and improving, Simmons distanced himself from the franchise, demanded a trade, and eventually got shipped to Brooklyn for James Harden. Then there's Jimmy Butler. The Sixers traded for Butler in 2018, and for a moment, it felt like they found their missing piece. I remember watching Jimmy Butler run the point with Joel Embiid and thought, wow.
Game on the line, thinking 3, Butler for the lead.
I never thought they could develop a pick and roll. Butler brought a toughness and leadership to the team that nearly carried them to the Eastern Conference Finals. But after the Sixers lost to the Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater, Butler didn't hold back. He publicly criticized the Sixers' lack of accountability, the culture, and left in free agency and went on to thrive in Miami. And most recently, there's James Harden. Harden was supposed to elevate the Sixers to championship contenders.
Harden on the move. What a move to tie the game.
And for a while, it looked like he did. He helped Joel Embiid win his first MVP and led the league in assists. But instead, looking back, his tenure was marred by questions about his fitness, his commitment, and his relationship with the front office. After another disappointing playoff run where they fell short because of injuries or just lack of team chemistry, Harden publicly criticized GM Daryl Morey and demanded a trade.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of again.
Leaving the Sixers scrambling once again. Each of these moments highlight the same issues: a revolving door of drama in Philadelphia, a lack of leadership, and a culture that fails to foster long-term success. I don't even want to get into how all this information gets publicly leaked. Instead of building on their potential, the Sixers always seem to hit a breaking point. Now, to understand why this is such a pivotal moment, we need to see it from Joel Embiid's perspective for a moment. Last season, Embiid wasn't just playing through injuries. He was dominating. He dropped a 50-point game on one leg while dealing with a knee injury and facial paralysis. This wasn't just a heroic effort, it was historic too. And yet, after the Sixers fell short in the playoffs, the narrative turned against him again. Fans called him a failure, some labeled him a dirty player, which he had some dirty plays for sure, and the city seemed to forget everything he'd sacrificed. From Embiid's point of view, that's exhausting. You give it your all, only to have it thrown back in your face.
I've broken my face twice. I came back early with the risk of losing my vision. Had broken fingers. I still came back. I've done way too much, for this city. Like that dude, he's not here. Marcus, whatever his name is. I've done way too much for this fucking city to be treated like this. So
it's no wonder he seems frustrated, disconnected, and at times checked out this season. But at the same time, isn't that what a franchise player is all about? The pressure comes with the territory. Still, through all the drama, Sixers fans were excited to have Joel Embiid back for his first game on November 13th. But the game was tough to watch. Embiid scored just 13 points on 2 of 11 shooting. That's 18% from the field. He finished with a negative 14 plus or minus and looked visibly hampered by his lingering knee issues.
Trying to create, and knocked out of Embiid's hands. No, they all tied at 54. The Knicks led most.
But the struggles didn't just end there. Against the Magic on November 15th, Embiid managed to score 20 points, but shot a poor 5 for 15 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3. Despite playing significant minutes again, he couldn't carry the Sixers to a win.
George. That 3 is way off by Embiid with the shot clock tick.
And then, more recently on November 18th against the Heat, it got even worse. Joel played over 30 minutes, but scored just 11 points, going 5 for 11 from the field and only 1 for 3 from 3. This isn't about a load management problem anymore. There's something much deeper going on. There's either a real injury or Joel just doesn't care to play hard. And if Joel can't stay healthy or buy into the team, what hope do the Sixers have to turn this season around?
It pains me to even watch him play this year because I know he's not right. I know he's not healthy. 0 free throws. Like you're telling me that he's healthy. 0 free throws, first time since 2008, I think it said. Like, there's just no way this healthy. So I stand on what I said, that they need to shut him down.
But what about the fans? Sixers fans have been through everything. The heartbreak, the rebuild, the hope of the process. For years, they stood by Embiid through injuries and playoff letdowns and his lack of accountability, but eventually your patience has its limits. Joel Embiid is supposed to be the guy. He's on a max contract. He's an MVP caliber player when he tries, and yet his team has never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals during his tenure. Then imagine having your star player saying he's only going to play like 80% of the regular season and every season going forward. For fans, that feels like a slap in the face, especially when you've seen stars like Nikola Jokic play over 70 games nearly every year of his career. It's hard not to feel like this is just another chapter in a long story of missed opportunities. This is literally the Sixers' worst nightmare. An unhappy, injured superstar, a fractured locker room, and a team that feels directionless. But the real fear? Joel Embiid could force his way out. And it wouldn't be shocking, would it? In today's NBA, stars hold the keys to their future, and Joel Embiid just signed a massive guaranteed deal. If things continue this way, Embiid might look at other teams with a stronger foundation or a clearer path to a championship, and decide he's better off somewhere else. But it's not a closed book just yet. There are some bright spots in this 2-11 Sixers team that could signal a turnaround. Rookie guard Jared McCain has been a revelation. Drafted 16th overall, he's exceeded every expectation so far, averaging 13.5 points per game in under 19 minutes. His standout performance came against the Cavaliers, where he scored 34 points and dished out 10 assists. That's incredible. Paul George, despite battling early season injuries, has shown flashes of brilliance. In a recent game against the Knicks, he led the team with 29 points and 10 rebounds, demonstrating his ability to take over games. And before his hamstring injury, Tyrese Maxey was on a tear, averaging 27.6 points per game over his first 7 games. His leadership and scoring ability were evident, and his return could provide the spark the team needs. The Sixers have the talent, they have the time, but do they have the leadership and accountability to make it happen? That's the real question. This meeting was a turning point. Will Joel Embiid take the criticism from his teammates and hear what his team has to say? Will this moment help them build more chemistry or destroy it and force them farther apart? What do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for Joel and the Sixers, or is there still hope to salvage the season? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by subscribing. Make sure you tick on the notifications because my next Henry Hoops video is about